What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Matthew Muniz here. The passions are family, fitness, and finance. And today we're going to talk about the number one investment that you're most likely not taking advantage of, the Triple Tax Advantaged HSA account. So first things first, what is an HSA? HSA stands for Health Savings Account. An HSA is a highly tax advantaged account that you can use to save money when you have a specific healthcare plan that has high out-of-pocket expenses. An HSA is not the same as a flexible spending account. With an HSA, you actually own the money and you can roll it over year to year. You can move the money to a new account if you get a new job, for instance. And the best part about it is you can invest the funds if you use a company like Fidelity, for instance, which I do have linked below. The sad part is, it turns out that less than 6% of people that have an HSA actually invest the funds inside their HSA. When it comes to investing the funds, you can diversify your portfolio however you like. So what exactly is Triple Tax Advantaged? All funds entered into your HSA from your employer are contributed pre-tax. If you're contributing to an HSA after you've already been paid, then this lowers your taxable federal and state income. The second tax benefit is any interest you make, dividends, or any growth at all are all tax-free. And then the third way that it's tax advantaged is when you go to take the money out of the account, you don't have to pay taxes if you use it for qualified medical expenses. This is where it differs from an account like a 401k. When you take money out of a 401k, you have to pay the taxes. If you do it for your HSA and the money is used for medical expenses, then you don't have to pay any taxes. So if we're talking about tax-free money, using it for eligible medical expenses, how exactly much do we need when it comes time for us to retire to spend when it comes to medical expenses? Well, according to a study from Fidelity, the average couple, once retired, need around $300,000 to comfortably cover all of their healthcare expenses. So let's talk about some more information about the HSA in general. If you need to use the money for non-medical expenses prior to 65, you're going to pay a 20% fee. If you use the money for non-medical expenses after the age of 65, you won't have to pay the fee, but you will have to still pay federal and state taxes. The good news is there is no age where you are forced to withdraw from your HSA. So how long can you contribute to an HSA and when can you start? You can continue to contribute to your HSA up until you enroll in Medicare. Now, if you decide to work past 65, I certainly don't want to do that, you can still contribute to your HSA even after the age of 65. Now, there are limits on how much money you can put into an HSA each year. If you're an individual in 2021, you can contribute up to $3,600. If you are married and under a family plan, you can contribute up to $7,200. Also, if you're over the age of 55, you can do what's called a catch-up amount, and with that, it's an additional $1,000 you can put into the account. If your spouse is over the age of 55 as well, you can contribute another $1,000 to this account. Let's do some examples about how much money you can really have invested and saved in your HSA when it comes time for you to finally retire. So in a best case scenario, if you're 18 years old and just starting out and you decide to do the 2021 annual contribution maximum of $3,600, at the end, when you're 65 years old, assuming we got an 8% return in the stock market, we'd have almost $1.7 million invested. If we're 30 years old and we have a family plan and we're just starting out, we decide to do $7,200, the 2021 annual maximum contribution, and we also get an 8% return in the market, we'd end up with almost $1.3 million saved and invested towards our medical expenses or anything else we desire to use it for. If you're interested in trying out some of these calculations on your own, down in the description I have a link for an investment calculator that I use to do those examples. So, like we talked about, the HSA can be an amazing tool to help you when it comes time for retirement. With it being triple tax advantage, it definitely is one of the best things you can use in order to set yourself up for success. I still believe that you should go ahead and max out your employee contribution for the 401k if that's offered to you. But if not, then you may want to look at putting money into an HSA before that. Or if you've already hit the maximum contribution amount for your 401k, then you can start looking at other options like the HSA. You do need to do your own research, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor. You need to do what's best for your family. Some families may not be the best fit for a high deductible health plan in which you can take advantage of the HSA. For instance, my wife and I, we just had a baby and we had to switch from our high deductible health plan to a traditional plan because we don't know the risks that we're going to be involved with when we actually had the baby. Luckily, everything worked out well, but sometimes there could be complications that could end up costing you more money in the long run. So what is the best strategy when it comes to the HSA? You actually don't want to spend any of the money in your HSA on medical expenses until you actually retire. Most people will take their HSA and they'll contribute to it, and sometimes your employees will give you money towards it, and they'll spend it throughout the year on their medical expenses, which is completely fine. However, you're no longer gaining the compound interest over 10, 20, even 30 years on that money that you're contributing to. So what is the best strategy when it comes to the HSA? Don't use your HSA funds in the years leading up to retirement, only unless you absolutely have to. Pay out of pocket for your medical expenses if you can. Remember, compound interest is your #1 tool in growing your portfolio. If you found this video beneficial, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment down below what you're doing to better set yourself up for when you retire. Take care, guys.